Welcome to Leaping Larry's Revolutionary Reading Theatre.
See ya. And today we are going to be reading this little work right here.
He's a communist.
Oh, really?
Yep, big communist, big communist.
Oh.
I'm going to be reading Kim Jong-il, Abuses of Socialism Are Intolerable. Short little work. This is a discourse published in Kuloja, official magazine of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, March 1st, 1993. Intolerable? So much for the tolerant left, right? And we'll get to the tolerant left today after news. We're gonna do the news after we do the read. And then we'll talk about, we're gonna watch this second thought video. We'll talk about why it's important to critique people and critique various positions. And then we were gonna look at, I got a bunch of stuff on Twitter. We have Liberation Film 2 that we can do today. And then
I've got some literature in my car that will change your whole way of thinking.
11 months, holy shit. Thank you, Strin Sam. Thank you. And then we have this right here. If you know anything about computer collecting, the number one rule is that you never buy an old printer. So we're gonna watch a video where LGR bought an old printer. That should be fucking golden. Alright, so that's what's on the docket for today. Without further ado, I present you with Kim Jong-il, Abuses of Socialism Are Intolerable, from 1993. By the way, this one goes out to all you... This one goes out to that group of anarchists that did indigenous erasure and a bunch of other bullshit. Are we going to talk about delegates in Cuba? Oh yeah, well, we can put that up. We can actually mention it right now. This also goes up to you fucking DSA members who went to Cuba, met with the fucking opposition leaders, and then refused to actually attend a meeting with the fucking president of Cuba. The same DSA that just a couple months before this trip anyway, wrote a piece critiquing the Cuban Revolution. So... fucking hell. Yeah. Yeah, Pixeltronic, let me just say that video is gonna be everything you're hoping for and more. Hey Meg, welcome in. I hadn't heard that. Heard of this. That is absolutely the most DSA thing ever. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they went to Cuba and wrote a piece critiquing the Cuban revolution as not being democratic enough and all this other shit. And then sent another delegation just recently where they decided not to actually meet with the Cuban president. Despite the Cuban president setting aside a 2-hour meeting for them. Wow. Wow. Oh, is this the... What's this one? Oh, is this the critique? Oh god, I don't want to read this again. I'm not going to read that again myself right now, but that looks like the one. They critique anyone when they don't live in a democratic country and neither of their orgs is democratic and is, in a country that's participating in an active blockade. So silly, right? So yeah, this is aimed at all of them and any anarchists who are anti-socialist. And by the way, if you're an anarchist who goes around, and this is what's wild to me, okay? I said this earlier before I do this read as well. Oh, this is from Marx's critiquing the delegates. Beautiful. Well, beautiful. I'm glad to see that there are people in there critiquing that. I would like to find the actual link to their critique as well. GMO, thank you so much. That was weird. Did it sound like the bot just like sighed and then didn't actually say Lenin? Or maybe I interrupted the bot saying Lenin. Yeah, it's a big tent thing. Yeah. God. Close to a hype train already in the morning? That is really what the hell? Thank you. Yeah, if we get one more thing, then we almost get the bot is going through a hard time. I mean, that's usual, that's common. If we get one more third generous resubscriber or bit donator over 100 bits or more, you get to hear the Juche Gang theme song. Putting it out there. Apparently, one of the delegates later attended to any defunded event. Yeah, and they met with opposition leaders who were like literal suspected to be, what you would expect from opposition in Cuba, I guess.
Long live the People's Revolution!
Oh my god, a golden Kappa train is closed. Oh no, now it's still saying that it's one more away. And it's a golden Kappa train. Alright, we need one more anonymous or a third person. Someone not Jeremiah, not GMO, and who else was it? Strin, I think. Yeah, none of those three. Need one of the third. Miss working on Juche Gang stuff. Life's been hard. Yeah, I hear you, Tambalam. I miss you working on the pages and shit. I haven't done anything with the Facebook pages for a long time. It's basically Riley keeps one of them going, posting shit. Someone else keeps other stuff going. I hardly post anything anymore to the Facebooks. I'm so all over the place everywhere else.
I've got some literature in my car that will change your whole way of thinking.
Oh shit. Hamba Lamb, subscribe for 1 month at tier 1. Let's fucking go. Thank you
Get in there.
so much.
Taxi's boss car's full of weed just like this, okay?
Okay.
Jacob, you're in control. Don't fuck up.
Okay, boys, this is it. Let's fucking move it.
Boys,
I got the Swayze Express.
Good. Load it in the car. We're gonna hook up with Sparson in 6 hours.
The whole world's searching for that train, you idiots. You won't even make it to Shitville.
Get her theme song.
Lil Pump. Juche Gang.
All for one motherfucker and one motherfucker for all.
Self-reliance.
You know what I'm saying?
Rocket Face, Jeremiah, thank you, comrades.
Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang.
Thank you.
Juche Gang. Spread 3 racks on some new my currently love.
I know what you're saying.
I fucking fears I forgot a name, yeah. I won't vibe in a bushy tank.
Comrades, thank you.
Go spread some
absolute time.
Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang. Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang. Spread 3 racks on some new grain, my currently love doing Juche. I fucking fears I forgot a name, yeah. I can't vibe in a bushy tank.
Oh, nice.
Ready
Okay,
go spread
Merz.
some coming man, yeah. Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang. My nuke more supreme than your core. You got healthcare you can't afford. Still
Morning,
Juche in
mama.
the jets. Korea and Cuba making better meds. None of these camps be new to me, Seeing kids there call it tutoring.
Got
White
golden.
got some red suits.
I like how Lenin's birthday is a golden Kappa train.
Bitch, your press expresses sadness. America's the Morty's found to madness. Kim Jong-un show no tenderness. America's strategies crying about the status. Everybody screaming, fuck the US. Lil Kim be laughing about the progress. North Korea controlling the
What an armed and trained proletariat looks
right
like.
back. Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang. Spread 3 racks on some new grain, My currently love doing Juche, I fucking fears I forgot a name, yeah. I can't vibe in a bushy thing, Ready go and spread some coming meme, yeah. Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang. Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang, Juche Gang. Sprint 3 records als een new grain. Maak er niet love, doing juche. I fucking Paris, I forgot a name, yeah. I can't buy a bin a bush thing. Ready go spread some coming meme, yeah. Chuchi gang, chuchi gang, chuchi gang. Yeah.
Thank you so much, comrade. You earned the golden cap. Thank you for helping me earn the golden kappa hype train on Lennon's birthday. That means a ton. Make sure y'all are following Mama M Media as well. Don't want to miss the Mama M Media stream. Now, as I was saying, before we begin this work, I just want to let you know that really this work goes out to the anarchists who were anti-socialism. Okay? If you're an anarchist who parrots bourgeois lies about socialist countries, including saying that they never built socialism and they've only built a new type of capitalism, you're being chauvinistic at best. You might even be infected with a little bit of racism, since all of their bourgeois propaganda happens to be based on that. Not necessarily saying that is necessarily the case, but it is potentially the case. And parroting racist lies means that you're parroting racist things. It's always amazing to me how, whenever, if we say something about, if a communist says something about anarchism or libertarianism, that's attacking anarchists and libertarians. But we're just supposed to sit by and listen to some of the most heinous bourgeois parroting, racist garbage about socialist countries, and just be okay with that because it's not our country, or it's not us, or it's a state, or whatever. No. We're against colonialism. We're against imperialism. It's like Che said, a blow against one person is a blow against everybody. And opportunistically focusing on groups of people that don't support their government in situations where their government is fighting against colonialism and imperialism, where they have a socialist country, is just dishonest. Hey, lesbian hot sauce, welcome in. So this work goes out to them, to those anti-socialist libertarians, and this work also goes out to those DSA motherfuckers who think they can visit socialist countries and then write a critique about how Cuba isn't democratic enough. That's who this goes out to. So, uses of socialism are intolerable. Discourse published in Koloja magazine of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, 1993. Make sure you go follow Lesbian Hot Sauce, everybody. At a time when the imperialists and reactionaries At a time when the imperialists and reactionaries are resorting to unprecedentedly vicious schemes against socialism, many misleading statements are being made about socialism. The enemies of socialism are abusing it, calling it totalitarian, barracks-like, and administrative and commanding, and are distorting the facts, pretending that the setback suffered by socialism because its nature is such. They claim that socialism is totalitarian, barracks-like, and administrative and commanding. Not in essence different from the pernicious anti-socialist propaganda the imperialists have conducted since the first appearance of socialism in the world. The imperialists have always said that socialism is an inhuman society in which there is no freedom or democracy. Terms totalitarian, barracks-like, and administrative and commanding are repetition of the imperialist false propaganda against socialism that uses new words. The democratic idea, which a long time ago advocated freedom, equality, and human rights in opposition to feudal despotism, was transformed by the capitalist class into bourgeois democracy, which imposed and defended exploitation and subordination by capital. The imperialists made every possible effort to embellish bourgeois democracy, calling it liberal democracy. However, they could not conceal its falsity and reactionary nature, nor could they remove from the minds of the popular masses their aspiration and longing for socialism, which would provide them with the genuine freedom and democracy. Nevertheless, the sophistry of its being totalitarian, barracks-like, and administrative and commanding, a repetition of the imperialist vicious propaganda against socialism, has in recent years caused ideological confusion among the people in many socialist countries. Class enemies have even led socialism to collapse by fanning this ideological confusion and misleading public opinion. What's the context here? This is Kim Jong-il writing about the slander of socialism, writing about how again, like, this applies to anarchists and the likes of social democrats, like who parrot bourgeois lies about socialist countries, but more specifically, at the time, this was aimed at the intelligentsia and the political leaders who were the former leaders and intelligentsia in the USSR, who published all sorts of works saying things like this. That contributed, of course, to the stagnation and eventually the overthrow of USSR. So it's aimed at that, but this is good for any anti-communist leftist, right? The collapse of socialism in many countries was an outcome of the conspiracy and collusion by the imperialist and counter-revolutionary forces, and a result of the ideological cultural infiltration of imperialism, the corrosive action of right opportunist ideas. Decisive to the collapse was the role played by the counter-revolutionary schemes of the renegades of socialism in those countries. In order to stifle socialism, the imperialists have for a long time been perpetrating every manner of destructive move, such as aggression, pressure, blockade, and appeasement. At the same time, they have used their stooges, degenerates, and traitors to the revolution, who appeared in the upper strata of the communist and working class movement. As the history of the international communist movement shows, and the ideological confusion and all the twists and turns within it are due to the fact that renegades of the revolution have appeared in its upper strata. In the historical situation in which socialism had become a powerful material force, the imperialists attached greater importance to the strategy of undermining it from within, and made vicious attempts to achieve the same. In accordance with this strategy employed by the imperialists, the abuses of socialism were taken to an unprecedented level, and at the same time, the criticism of socialism being totalitarian, barracks-like, and administrative and commanding came into being. That such censure is a product of the imperialist anti-socialist strategy has been proved by the fact that all of the criminal acts aimed at destroying socialism with this as a pretext have been committed with the support of the imperialists and under their manipulation. Today, schemes of the renegades to vilify socialism are becoming more heinous and frantic, their aim being to justify their perfidy and check the rebirth of socialism. That they are defaming socialism by calling it totalitarian, barracks-like, and administrative and commanding. Even now, socialism has disintegrated and capitalism has revived in many countries, serves as clear proof the renegades of socialism are the stooges of imperialism. It is sophistry to call socialism totalitarian, barracks-like, and administrative and commanding. We will see. Could make a game of it. Totalitarianism served as the political idea of fascist dictators. Notorious Hitler in Germany and Mussolini in Italy used totalitarianism as an ideological tool to justify their fascist dictatorship. Fascist dictators stamped out even the most elementary democratic freedom and rights of the masses, working people, and enforced unprecedentedly tyrannical policies. Behind the misleading name of National Socialism, claiming that for the sake of the whole nation, the whole state, no working class movement, no class struggle could be permitted. The reactionary nature of totalitarianism is that the interests of the working people are sacrificed for the sake of the rapacious interests of the reactionary ruling class, under the pretense that the individual should be subordinated to the whole. What is meant by the whole in totalitarianism is not the whole of the popular masses, but a tiny handful of privileged circles, such as monopoly capitalists, major landowners, reactionary bureaucrats, and warlords. Calling socialism, which the popular masses are the masters of everything, totalitarianism is ultimately a preposterous lie, which identifies the most progressive idea that reflects the demands of the popular masses, the reactionary idea of fascist rulers. Denouncing socialism as being barracks-like is also absurd. The social way of life is defined by ideology, varies according to the system. Socialism is the most progressive of ideas that reflects the intrinsic demand of people, and the socialist system is the most advanced of systems, under which the popular masses enjoy an independent and creative life to the full. The restraint of their independence and creativity occurs not under the socialist, but under the capitalist society, where the working people are the slaves of capital, cannot ensure a fruitful life, independent and creative, for them. Claiming that socialism is barracks-like is pernicious propaganda that attempts to turn black into white.
Julian, books have stuff recorded down all over the years from people. And if we could find a book with someone that had similar problems, just take what they wrote down in the book and make it... fuck. Sorry, Trini. Take what they wrote down and make it ours.
I'm giving you a damn good commie quote right here. At the end of the work, I'll give you another good one, though. Accusing socialism of being administrative and commanding is also unreasonable. In general, the administrative and commanding method of management is an old method of rule that serves the demands of the privileged classes by invoking legal authority in an exploiter society. The capitalist society, where the economy is run spontaneously, anarchistically, on the principles of the market economy, state and social administration is conducted by the administrative and commanding method, and the popular masses, target of control, are in duty bound to obey administrative orders. Contrary to this, socialist society, the popular masses, who have become the masters of state and society, hold the position of masters and play the role of masters in the administration. Fundamental characteristics of state and social administration by the popular masses are that priority is given to political work in all activities, superiors assist those under them, and cooperate with one another in a comradely manner. This is fundamentally different from the bureaucratic method of management of the old society, whereby everything was imposed in accordance with administrative orders. The administrative and commanding method of management, manifested in socialist practice in the past, did not emanate from the essential nature of socialist society, but was a legacy of the exploiter society. The renegades of socialism directed the spearhead of their attack against the principles of democratic centralism on the pretext of opposing the administrative and commanding method. Democratic centralism is an important principle in the activities of a socialist state. Socialist state activities, democracy, and centralism are organically combined, and herein lies an important characteristic of socialist state activities. Those who created a chaotic situation while emasculating centralism in the name of democracy destroyed socialism, and they are now openly moving towards bourgeois dictatorship. The slander against socialism is absurd, but it has caused ideological confusion among the people, mainly because they are not fully equipped with the socialist idea. Of course, it was not easy to identify the reactionary nature of the slander from the outset, because it was conducted craftily in the guise of socialism. But if a proper yardstick had been prepared by developing and perfecting the socialist theory, and if the popular masses had been equipped with the socialist idea, they would not have been easily shaken by such sophistry. The authoritarian is placed by the people. Yeah, we are okay. Hey, I'm for proletarian dictatorship, in case you didn't know. If the socialist cause is to be defended and completed, the socialist idea should be developed and perfected constantly. The popular masses should be equipped with it, so they accept socialism as their unshakable conviction. They will keep faith in socialism only when they are convinced by the justness of the socialist cause. The great leader, Comrade Kim Il-sung, created the Juche idea, and on this basis has developed and perfected the socialist idea. The Juche socialist idea makes it clear that socialist society is the most advanced society, where the popular masses are the masters of everything and everything serves them, and that it is the society which develops steadily on the strength of their unity. Socialist cause, just popular masses lead an independent and creative life to the full as masters of the state and society. Our people have this as their firm conviction, for they are moving steadily along the road of socialism in spite of the anti-socialist storms. If the former socialist countries had developed and perfected the socialist idea in conformity with the requirements of the times and the developing revolution, and if they had equipped the popular masses with it, and thus ensured that they accepted socialism as their firm conviction, tragic events which the popular masses, failing to see through the reactionary, corrupt nature of capitalist society, harboring illusions about it, wavered ideologically, thus frustrated socialism would not have occurred. As experience shows, we are to defend the cause of socialism and bring glory to the socialist idea. It should be perfected, and the popular masses armed with it, so that it becomes their firm conviction. Moreover, we should see to it that people have an unshakable faith in socialism and regard it as their moral duty to defend it. In the exploiter society, the politics of the ruling class runs counter to the ethics of the working masses. Hey, what do you know? Ethics matters. Remember the bullshit Noah tried to pull on me and all of these other patchocks going on about moralistic positions and all this other shit? Well, guess what, motherfucker? The working people, the working masses have morals. And that's why we know that they will never support, at the end of the day, the progress of the masses will never be to support settler colonialism and genocide continuing, right? It will never be to support that thing. Oh god. By the way, Noah responded to me. So here we go. We'll get to that after. We'll get to that after, but here's a little preview apparently. It's very literally, very literally explaining. It's very literally explaining why the slogan is bad. That's without even getting into the anti-humanity scum that used it in the past. I don't think you know what tailism or dogmatism means, my friend. In your excitement to try and start internet beef and bite ankles, you've either made a giant mistake here or lied. I'll assume it was a mistake. Why is every goddamn critique of what you write fucking... In your excitement to start internet beef? Why is every critique that I fucking make? I mean, I'm gonna respond, but I'm not gonna respond directly to Noah. Because that's just useless. The reason why I quote retweet these people is so that I can make a show and point out, look, this is where you're fucked up. And every single time I make a critique of anything these motherfuckers say, just because I put a little bit of a joke in there or something like that, it's starting internet beef. Noah, who wrote this goddamn gobbledygook at me the other day. Right? Noah, who wrote this gobbledygook at me the other day. The proletariat is a material universe that's the foundation of proletarian internationalism. It isn't some empty bourgeois, abstract bourgeois cosmopolitanism, or what the childish ultra-leftist Lenin said were the infantile sickness believed in their inability to grasp the Marxist view of universal and particular, right? The basic Marxist view is not that of positive claptrap. It is that the universal is not the universal because it is not the particular. Not precisely because it arises in many particular forms at many particular times, places. The form taking shape through the material history giving rise to it. So, for Marxism, the contradiction that universal is particular is the correct view. It's both, not one or the other. I'm not sure how far along your education in Marxism is, and I do think your focus on certain things is probably good, but you gotta remember that the entire last period of American history was one big distortion of Marxism. Without ascension to the concrete, everything is empty, unreal. This is them trying to talk to people, I guess. Yeah, this is Noah. It's like, what is this? What am I even looking at? You tell me that this is basic Marxism. He even quoted me and said, look. Very, very basic Marxism is apparently gobbledygook. You say you're a communist, you should know what all this stuff means already. Don't make excuses. And you're welcome to try and shove me in a locker, Chuche gang. Look at the paragraphs. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. But I just wanted to point this out because, like, you gotta be able to fucking make your shit make sense to everyday people, right? Yeah, I should try reading Marx. I clearly am not understanding the Marxism here. Clearly, this is very much showing a much better understanding of Marxism. For sure. So it's just funny to me. Again, like... It's just funny, he's coming to me here and saying, in your excitement to try and start internet beef, like, Noah, learn how to talk to people, and sometimes, fucking, you know, sometimes it's effective to make little jokes. I thought my joke was good. I don't know why you think that that's beef. Oh, because I said, fuck your paper, brother. Sorry, I didn't even make the meme, I just shared it. But this all started because I shared this meme. And he's still very, very upset about it because it says, fuck your paper, brother, which is like a joke on, you know, whatever. I said, fuck your paper. It's a fucking joke. Calm down. Start internet beef. I don't even know what your paper's about, nor do I care. That was mostly just a funny thing to tack onto it. Why are you fucking taking it so personally? Calm down. Meanwhile, even Communist Party USA is leaving Noah in the dust. Which we'll get to in a minute as well. Look who stopped by! Hey, everybody! It's me, Bug! It's a bug! Hey, a bug stopped by! Here, bug. Bug. Come on up here. Come up on your seat. Trying to get Bug to come up. Come on, Bug. I know you want to. Bug. Okay, well, you come up when you want. You come up when you want. Yeah, she's in her teenage rebel years now. Right, Bug? Right, Bug? She's just so damn cute. Yeah, speaking of abuses of socialism. I like the 9 people that just immediately have liked his post. Who are these people that just follow him around and like shit? Can I see that? I can't see who likes other people's stuff, right? Is that the deal? Only who likes my own or something? That would be cool. That would be cool because then I could block them. Alright, well, we'll deal with that in a minute. We'll respond to this, but not directly. I think you guys are itching for some canceling, so you're making things up to cancel. You click on the 3 dots and click... Oh, show post engagements. Okay. Okay, wait. These right here. Oh, okay, there we go. Here we go. That's what I wanted to see. Christian, proud patriot. Oh dear God. Gorilla and Sunray. Anglo-Eurasian. Look at this shit. Gorilla Sunray. The heck can't stop us. I don't know why you're following me, but goodbye. Sam, I'm a boomer. I'm a technological boomer. All right, let's get to we'll get to the rest of the read and then we'll fucking respond to Noah. Don't worry, I got shit to say. I definitely have some shit to say to Noah. Not to Noah, about Noah. Larry the Luddite. Well, it's not on purpose. Moreover, we should see to it that people have an unshakable faith in socialism and regard it as their moral duty to defend it. In the exploiter society, the politics of the ruling class runs counter to the ethics of the working masses, whereas the politics and ethics correspond with each other in socialist society, where the popular masses are the masters of state and society. The political and ethical cohesion of the popular masses can only be lasting when socialist ethics are fully prevalent. Socialism strikes deep root in actual life when socialist ethics based on revolutionary comradeship and obligation is established and becomes widespread. Only if this happens can the popular masses fully discharge their responsibilities and role as masters of socialism. Build socialism successfully, firmly defend the cause of socialism, and promote it, whatever the adversity. Betrayers of the revolution appear in the course of socialist construction because they have not made socialism their faith or ethics. The cause of socialism is that of the people, and betrayal of the socialist cause is a betrayal of the people. A betrayal of the people is a manifestation of the greatest lack of ethics. It is the worst manifestation of a lack of ethics for a leader to reject the confidence of party members and the people who have elected him to the leadership of the party and the state. Got a bug. Just putting this here so people can see you. Everyone wants to see a bug. Trust me, bug. Bug? It is the worst manifestation of a lack of ethics for a leader to reject the confidence of party members and the people who have elected him to the leadership of the party and state. He may only be said to have a little conscience if he resigns from his post because he lacks of ability or leaves the party for some reason. That those who talked about their loyalty to the cause of socialism in the past have readily become renegades of socialism is, in the long run, due to their failure to make socialism their conviction and ethics. This shows that ideological transformation for all the members of society makes socialism their conviction and ethics the most important of tasks, and should be carried out as a matter of priority in defending and completing the cause of socialism. Hi, bug. We're doing this now? We're getting this kind of bug cam, are we? Ideological transformation should be conducted in close combination with the practical struggle to build socialism. The major aim of equipping the popular masses with the socialist idea is to build socialism successfully, so as to provide them with a more independent and creative life by relying on the strength of the people who have been awakened in a revolutionary manner. Without socialist construction, it is difficult to conduct the work of equipping the popular masses with the socialist idea. Look at her. Bug, you're funny. You're cute. The superiority of socialism. It is only when people come to recognize the superiority of socialism through their own lives by successfully building it that they will accept it as vital to them. That's all well and good, but have you considered studying capitalist realism forever instead? Please no. Look at how much she loves you, chat. The party and state of the working class should concentrate their efforts on displaying the superiority of socialism to the full by building it well. Chat loves you, bug. I'll love you. They do love you. The party and the state of the working class should concentrate their efforts on displaying the superiority of socialism to the full by building it well. The essential superiority of socialism lies in the fact that the popular masses are the masters of everything. You're a very good girl. For the people to be the masters of everything, they must firstly become the master of politics. Only then can they lead a full social life as befitting masters. Socialist politics is popular politics exercised by the people as its masters. You might be able to see you. In the society of exploiters, politics is, in essence, aimed at ensuring class domination by the exploiting class, and the means of the working people as merely objects of politics. In capitalist society, the life of the people is spontaneous and led by each individual to maintain his or her own existence. But in socialist society, people themselves are the masters of politics and organize and conduct all aspects of socialist life in a uniform way. He's tired again. Politics is exercised by certain political organizations. For people in a socialist society to exercise their rights and discharge their responsibilities as the masters of the state and society, they must have a political organization which represents their will and interest. Representative of the people's will and interests in socialist society is the party and government of the working class. Socialist society, the working class party, is the supreme political organization. The government is the most comprehensive political organization. Position and role of the popular masses as the masters of the state and society in socialist society are guaranteed by the party and government of the working class. The political organization in a socialist society must conduct its political activities in a manner that suits its nature as the representative of the will and interests of the popular masses. Creating political methods which suits the nature of socialist society is a fundamental condition for realizing politics for the people. Even if a working class party and socialist government have been formed, the popular masses will be unable to exercise their rights, discharge their responsibilities, genuine masters of politics, unless new socialist political methods are created. Socialism is an untrodden path. Jeez, I went all British on you there. Hold on a second. Socialism is an untrodden path, and it is extremely difficult and complicated to create new political methods inherent in socialism. I don't know where that came from. In the past, many people resorted to the existing theory that politics was defined by the economic system, and thought that the problem of managing the state and society would be solved easily once the socialist system was established. I don't know what was going on. What a fucking devil trying to take over my body there for a minute, Jay. Therefore, the problem of creating new political methods commensurate with the nature of socialist society was not solved correctly, and the remnants of political methods from the old society revived to a considerable extent. Long live Tai, great leader. That the Damn it. Press the wrong button. That the remnants of the political methods from the old society were not removed from socialist society was also due to an improper understanding of the essence of socialist political organization, which was different from the political organization of the old society. In the past, the party was regarded mainly as an organized detachment of a certain class, which defended the interests of this class, and as a weapon in the class struggle. Government, too, was considered to be a power organ for the dominating class to realize its political domination over the society. Anarchists. Therefore, in the building and activities of party and government, the main attention was paid to enhancing their functions and role as a weapon in the class struggle, and as the executor of power. The essence of the working class party and socialist government lies, above all, in that they serve the people. Only when the working class party and socialist government adhere to the stand of serving the people can they conduct the class struggle and exercise political power properly, meet the requirements of the popular masses for independence. That they serve the people is the essence and superiority of the working class party and government, which are fundamentally different from the party and government of the exploiting class. In the activities of the working class party and socialist government serving the people, even the slightest trace of seeking privilege is intolerable. In its nature, socialism rejects every manner of privilege. In the past, the abuse of power and bureaucracy were evident in socialist practice. This was because the building of the party and government was not conducted properly as required by their mission as servants of the people. Hey, how do you say? Welcome in, comrade. Great to see you. We're reading Kim Jong-il. We're reading Abuses of Socialism Are Intolerable, which was a little piece that he published in the magazine of the Central Party of the Workers' Party of Korea magazine. The abuse of power and bureaucracy are products of the anti-socialist ideas and expressions of anti-socialist methods. If the mass line is implemented thoroughly under the correct leadership of the working class party in socialist society, so that the popular masses occupy the position of masters of the state society and play their role as such to the full, it is possible to eliminate the abuse of power and bureaucracy. Everybody go follow Kay. How do you say, by the way? Fill in that heart. Copy the chat, please. In order to eliminate the abuse of power and bureaucracy in socialist society, all officials should have the spirit of serving the people faithfully. The slogan, "We serve the people," put up by our party, clearly shows the attitude and stand officials should adopt, dealing with the people, how they should work for the people. Our experience proves that when the ideological education and ideological struggle are conducted vigorously among officials to improve their methods and style of work, it is quite possible to eliminate the abuse of power and bureaucracy, which are vestiges of the old society. Unless ideological education and an ideological campaign are conducted to put an end to the abuse of power and bureaucracy, they will be fostered and grow and not disappear. If the abuse of power and bureaucracy are allowed to grow in socialist society, they will alienate the popular masses from party and state, and the enemies of socialism will exploit this. The situation in those countries in which socialism has collapsed shows this. In every country, people demanded socialism, free from the abuse of power and bureaucracy. They did not demand capitalism. By the way, we can prove this when you look at actually the referendums and the voting that was going on in the USSR during the overthrow of USSR, actually. But I digress. But in some countries, the party and government were discredited in the eyes of the people due to the abuse of power and bureaucracy. Taking advantage of this, acts of betrayal were committed in order to instigate the people to oppose the socialist ruling parties and socialist power by misleading them with preposterous slander that socialism was totalitarianism, and with the promise that they would be provided with humane and democratic socialism. What the people have got as a result of the collapse of socialism is not humane and democratic socialism, but capitalism, under which exploitation, oppression, and social inequality are dominant, and every type of crime and social evil prevails. In those countries where socialism collapsed and capitalism was revived, the abuse of power and bureaucracy have not disappeared, but have become institutionalized and legitimized, and are now socially prevalent. An intrinsic superiority of socialism lies in the fact that under it, everything serves the popular masses. That everything serves the people means that in socialist society, all party and state activities are geared to providing the people with genuine freedom and rights, as well as with an affluent and cultured life. The enemies of socialism use their vicious slander that independent and creative life which the party and state provide for the popular masses in a responsible manner is a barracks-like life. Socialism provides the people with a rich and cultured life. The long-cherished desire of the people to live free from any worries can only be realized in a socialist society, in which the party and the state take responsible care of the people's life. In a capitalist society, carefree life for the working people is inconceivable. In this society, even those who are fairly well-to-do are always fearful of sudden bankruptcy, job loss, and poverty. Living a preposterous life in idleness without any thought for others cannot be regarded as a genuine human life. A worthwhile and happy life that conforms to the intrinsic requirements of the people is a creative life in which they lead to transform the world. It is a sound and equitably prosperous life, which is enjoyed by every person. It is only through such a life that people can feel pride in being the masters of the world and worthy as equal members of society. A creative, sound, and equitable life which conforms with the intrinsic requirements of people can be fully put into effect only in a socialist society, in which the party and the state are responsible for the life of the people. The most important aspect of people's lives is to realize the demand of their political integrity, unite and cooperate with one another amid the love and trust of the social community. People cannot lead a life worthy of human beings and develop their political integrity in capitalist society, in which the dignity and personality of the working people are trampled underfoot without scruple because of the privileges enjoyed by capital. It is only in socialist society in which every manner of privilege has been eliminated and genuine freedom and rights are guaranteed for them under the leadership and care of the party and the state, that they can lead a life worthy of the human beings that meets the demands of their political integrity. Socialism provides every condition for people to lead a stable life under a well-regulated social order. The socialist order of life is a revolutionary order, which enables the popular masses to lead a peaceful life free from infringement under the protection of the party and the state. It is a collectivist order, which is maintained by the people of their own free will. Destroying the socialist order of life is a criminal act, which makes the popular masses the victims of crime and social evil. In those countries where the socialist order of life has become chaotic, are now in a state of anarchy. There, crime and social evil of every description are rampant, and swindlers and criminals of every type are working frantically, as if their day has come. I like that he used anarchy like that. Just makes me a little bit happy. The renegades of socialism are continuing to repeat such hackneyed expressions as barracks-like, the falsity of which has been clearly revealed. They are doing so in a foolish attempt to hide their treachery in making the working people the victims of unemployment, poverty, crime, and social evil. Another intrinsic superiority of socialism lies in the fact that the society continues to develop through the united strength of the popular masses. That society develops implies that the position and role of the people in the world are enhanced, and this in turn means an increase in their independence, creativity, and consciousness. The attributes of human beings, in other words, it means that people's role is enhanced in conformity with a rise in their independent ideological consciousness and creative ability, and that social wealth increases and social relations improve in keeping with the enhancement of the people's role. Therefore, whether a society has the potential to develop depends on whether it enables people's independence, creativity, and consciousness to be displayed more fully. Independence and creativity for the people are guaranteed by their consciousness. Therefore, it can be said that consciousness plays a decisive role in the activities of human beings. This means that ideological consciousness plays a decisive role in human beings' activity. Ideological consciousness reflects the requirements and interests of a human being, and, as such, defines the goal and direction of his or her activities, as well as his or her will and fighting ability. Therefore, the basic factor giving impetus to the social development is always ideological consciousness. The ideological consciousness, which powerfully promotes social progress, is independent ideological consciousness. And the ideological consciousness at the highest level of development of the people's independent consciousness is socialist ideology. It is beyond dispute that socialist society, which is developing through the high level of the revolutionary consciousness and creativity of the popular masses, who are equipped with the socialist ideology, is the society with the greatest capacity for development. The establishment of the socialist system creates the social and economic conditions for all the members of society to unite and cooperate on the basis of one ideology. However, unity and cooperation among the people cannot be achieved spontaneously. In order to strengthen the unity and cohesion of the whole society, education in socialist ideology must be improved among them. In the past, however, the remolding of people's ideological consciousness was neglected in socialist practice because of the failure to understand that the basic driving force for the development of the socialist society lies in unity and cooperation among the people based on a high degree of ideological consciousness. In particular, there were tendencies to raise people's enthusiasm for production by means of such economic levers as material incentives, seeking the driving force for the development of the socialist economy and adapting the production relations to the character of the forces of production. Of course, the lever of material incentives may be used in socialist society because it is transitional, but this lever must be used on the basis of giving priority to education in socialist ideology. In other words, the principle must be maintained of putting the main stress on political and moral incentives, and properly combining material incentives with them. If, instead of doing so, emphasis is put merely on material incentives, this will reduce people to egotists, who seek only their own interests, with the result that society will stagnate and the foundations of socialism will be destroyed. Those countries which abandoned education and socialist ideology and encouraged egoism, building of the socialist economy floundered, and, taking advantage of this, the leadership of the working class party and state over the socialist economy was rejected on the excuse of opposing the administrative command system. Capitalist market economy was introduced. Political leadership and the centralized and systematic guidance of the economy is a basic task for the working class party and state in socialist society. This is because they are duty bound to take care of the popular masses. We explained earlier. For the working class party and state to abandon their function of guiding the economy means ignoring their responsibility in taking care of the livelihood of the popular masses. The way the party and state should give guidance to the economy, socialist society may differ from one country to another, according to their specific situation and the requirements of the developing revolutions. But they must on no account abandon their guidance of the economy. An economy without guidance from the working class party and state is not a socialist economy. And the society which is not based on a socialist economy cannot be called a socialist society. How much scope is given to the superiority of the socialist economy depends on how the party and state give guidance to it. Our experience shows that the economy can be managed particularly well, keeping with the intrinsic nature of socialist society, when, the management of the economy, collective guidance of the party committee is ensured, the mass line is implemented, political work is given precedence in all undertakings, and the revolutionary method of work and popular style of work are established among officials. The renegades of socialism are converting socialist ownership into private ownership, claiming that the administrative command system relies on the absolute dominance of state ownership. The socialist ownership, which consists of state and all people ownership, and cooperative ownership, forms social economic foundations, which enable the popular masses to occupy the position of masters of the state and society, and play their role as such. It is clear that socialist ownership is dissolved and converted into private ownership, means of production having been privatized will be concentrated sooner or later in the hands of privileged people, speculators, and a handful of other exploiters, no matter what the method of privatization may be. It is not long since privatization was carried out in those countries in which socialism had collapsed, but millionaires have already appeared while the vast majority of working people are suffering because of unemployment and poverty. As facts show, rejecting the guidance of the economy by the working class party and state by doing away with socialist ownership, nothing more than reviving the capitalist exploiting system, whatever pretext may be cited. All the anti-socialist evil propaganda, accusing socialism of being totalitarianism, barracks-like, and administrative and commanding, is nothing more than mudslinging socialist collectivism and the extoling of bourgeois individualism. So the struggle between socialists and renegades of socialism is a struggle between socialism based on collectivism and capitalism based on individualism. In order to counter the vilification of the by the renegades of socialism and to defend the cause of socialism, we must embody the principle of collectivism thoroughly in all areas of life. Collectivism is an essential quality of socialism and a source of the latter's superiority and validity. Collectivism is, in short, the concept of valuing the interests of the collective more than one's own individual interest. Socialist society, well, all the working people have been transformed into socialist working people. The whole society becomes a big family, whose members are united with one another through their common interests. Collectivism in socialist society finds expression in a high regard for the interests of the state and society. Socialist collectivism does not set the interests of the state and society against those of individuals. It ensures that they coincide. Valuing the state and society in socialist society means, in the long run, valuing the popular masses, the masters of the state and society. Popular masses are a social community composed of working people. Defending the interests of the popular masses means defending the interests of every working person. Constituent elements of it. Basic requirement of socialist collectivism is for people to give prominence to the interests of the state and society, and pursue their own interests within those of the state and society. Socialist collectivism is against the pursuance of only individual interests, at the expense of those of state and society, yet not against the interests of individuals. It is not socialist collectivism, but bourgeois individualism that infringes upon the interests of individuals. The reactionary nature of bourgeois individualism is that it encroaches on the interests of all the working people for the sake of the interests of a handful of exploiters. It is bourgeois individualism that gives rise to conflicts and social evils in capitalist society. Collectivism is an ideal of socialism, has developed continuously, The establishment of Marxism was of a great significance in the development of the concept of collectivism. Marxism made clear that the emancipation of humanity could not be achieved by individuals, that exploitation and oppression of man by man could be eliminated, and genuine freedom and equality for the people could be realized only through the united efforts of the working class. The great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung authored the Juche idea and, on this basis, developed the socialist idea and brought it to perfection, thus developing the concept of collectivism at a higher level. The Juche idea contains the original concept that the makers of history, who forged the destiny of humanity, are the popular masses. Not individuals, and that they should be combined into one socio-political organism in order to forge their destiny independently and creatively. An isolated individual cannot become the motive force of socio-historical progress, nor have socio-political integrity as a social being with independence, creativity, and consciousness. The parental organization of a person's socio-political integrity is the social community. It is only when an individual, as a member of the social community, joins his fate with that of the community, that he can have socio-political integrity, which is different from the physical life, and live and develop independently and creatively as master of his own destiny. In a social collective, by the way, get that J-Rock soundbite primed. In a social collective in which the people are the makers of history are combined into one socio-political organism, the principles of comradely love and revolutionary obligation hold sway in the relations between individuals and
it's all for one motherfucker and one motherfucker for all motherfuckers everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Between the collective and individual. The principle of sharing life and death and of devoted service to one another. The expression of the relations of comradely love and revolutionary obligation between the collective and individual sharing life and death is socialist collectivism, which embodies the principle one for all and all for one. Our socialist society is based on the Juche idea. It's a society in which socialist collectivism is most thoroughly embodied. Our party's collectivist idea was formed during the anti-Japanese revolutionary struggle, organized and led by the great leader Comrade Kim Il-sung. In spite of the indescribably difficult circumstances of the Korean communists, in spite of the indescribably difficult circumstances, the Korean communists were united firmly in one socio-political organism around the revolutionary leader and established a pattern for close ties of kinship, based on collectivism between the revolutionary ranks and the people. Oh, that's okay. We all get a little excited sometimes, Jay. Through two stages of social revolution in our country, the social sources of the impeding of collectivist unity and solidarity among the people have been eliminated. Socialist construction and collectivist education have been developed in depth. As a result, all the people form a socio-political organism, firmly united behind the party and the leader, an independent motive force for the revolution, collectivist way of life based on comradely love and revolutionary obligation, been brought into full play in all fields. Our people are now occupying the position of masters of the state and society in all fields of social life, such as politics, the economy, and culture. They are discharging their responsibility and role as masters. They are advancing dynamically to accomplish the revolutionary cause of Juche, united single-heartedly behind the party and the leader. Sharing good times and bad with one another. Life of people must not be judged simply by its material respect, must be judged mainly from the point of view of its social and political aspects, and of the life they enjoy as genuine masters of state and society. The independent and creative life of our people are leading is a genuine life. Clearly displays the intrinsic advantages of the anthropocentric socialism of our own style, embodying socialist collectivism. Socialist society, the people are the masters of state power and of material and cultural wealth. So everyone has the right to enjoy independent and creative life and is responsible for strengthening and developing it ceaselessly through a concentrated effort. In our country, there are no jobless people, nor anyone who cannot receive education, medical treatment, nor are there vagrants or beggars. All the people in our country are allowing their creative talents to blossom at their workplaces, where they do jobs that are suited to their aptitudes and abilities, and are leading an equitable way and wealthy life without any worries. They enjoy an independent political life as masters of society, enrolled in appropriate socio-political organizations. In our country, our party, Juche Revolutionary Party, bears the responsibility for the destiny of the people, as a political guide of society, leads them forward, and takes meticulous care of all aspects of their life. The party committees, as the highest leadership bodies of the relevant units, fully ensure the independent rights of the working people through collective leadership, and properly organize their creative activities. Unity between superiors and inferiors, and the comradely cooperation among all have become a social trend, the custom in our country. The party serves the people, and the people, upholding the party's leadership, share good times and bad with one another. Herein lies the infinite pride and source of the invincible power of our people. Our socialism is unshakable, whatever the storm. This is because the single-hearted unity of the leader, the party, and the people has been realized. The people are building a new life in conformity with their independent demands, under the guidance of the party and the leader. It is extremely foolish to slander the new life of socialism by reviving outdated ideas, which have already been buried by history. The value of the new can be measured only with a new yardstick. Reality has shown clearly once again that the way of thinking of those who preach the return to the old is not new. It is ridiculous for them to talk about a new way of thinking, while being unable to distinguish collectivism from totalitarianism. It is a farce to revive capitalism while distorting the reality of socialism with an outmoded way of thinking and an old yardstick. We must derive a proper lesson from the setbacks faced by socialism in some countries, and resolutely reject all the slander leveled by fools, and we must advance more vigorously towards the bright future of humanity, displaying such intelligence and courage as to turn a misfortune a blessing. The end. Let's go. There we go. We did it. What did we think? Just read the whole work. Kim Jong-il's uses of socialism are intolerable. Kim Jong-il spit in here. Almost like he was the Kim Jong-ilist. Right? That emote. Let's go. Ooh. Sorry, I had distracts there. Kim Jong-il spladled the reactionaries there.